Hey YouTube, it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do just a small sample of inks that I've received from Van Ness Pens, and so I wanted to do an ink swatching video and sample writing of the inks. I've got all of my things here except for some water. Grab that really quick. And let's get into it. If you're new to my channel, I talk about things fountain pen related and occasionally art stuff, and today it's going to be fountain pen related. And if you're returning, thank you and welcome back. I really do appreciate you guys checking out my channel. I've got 3 inks here from Van Ness that I picked up during the holiday sale that they had during the week of Thanksgiving here in the States. And so I've just got 3 new inks that I wanted to try. I think I've done one of these already, but I didn't swatch it out. So I've got Color Travelers Sand Beige. I've also got Wearing Goals Lost, which I already think I've gotten this, but I did not swatch it out. And I've got Tatcha. Okay, I'm going to say this. Let me see here. Umuraski. I know I butchered it. I'm sorry. But that is the ink there. Umuraski. I know I'm killing it. I'm sorry. So without further ado, I'm going to go into, I've got different ink colors in each one of these Traveler Notebook books. So I'm going to first do, this one's got my reds and my pinks and collections from the Diamine Ink Vent, and I'm kind of keeping collections in this first one in the olive green. So let's go and let's look at the pinks. I know I don't have this Tatcha. I never have gotten this color before, so I'm going to go ahead and grab an ink swatch card. And I'm not exactly sure. Hold on. Okay, I wanted to go back and grab my ink holders for each one of the inks. I'm going to just do this. First one, I'm going to do the Urumusaki by Tatcha paper first. So let's get into this one. I'm going to swatch it, and then I'm going to use the paper sample binder that I've been doing in the last couple of videos so that we can see what that looks like. So let's just go ahead and hold on just a second. I'm just getting a phone call. Hold on. Okay, where am I? All right, so I'm going to do the Tatcha first. Just dip this in here and get a nice little swatch out. It's been a long time since I've used. Oh, okay, that's not what I was expecting. Let me zoom in so you guys can see this color. It's coming out a lot. I thought it was more purpley, but it's coming off, and it might change, but it's coming off pretty dark brownish color, which I was not expecting. That in there like so. I am going to use my Pilot, and we'll see how this all ends up at the end, but that is the color. So it came out a lot browner than I thought it was going to, because it definitely looks kind of purple. So this is Tatcha. Since I have, this is a very fascinating color because it definitely, sorry about this, my tripod is doing some weird things here. Grab this really quick. Sorry, just give me a second here. I will get this under control. Okay. It does come down a little bit like a pinkish brown, similar to Brunch Date. It looks very purple on the screen, so I'm hoping that that stays, but I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and do the writing sample in my writing journal swatch book, and that is the one that I got from, sorry, come back up here, the Wonderpool ring binder that I bought from Amazon. I've already labeled out the paper entries. That's what I'm going to be doing on this front part, and then on the Irrefold paper I'm just going to go ahead and swatch the color. and write down what we've got here. And I will use my dip pen here just for a quicker dip. And this is what it looks like on Aerofil paper. And what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and pull this out. I think that would be better. I'm going to pull out each one of these papers as I swatch and do the initial swatch. I'm going to do the Takumi paper, which is Spirit of the Artisan, next. And yeah, this is looking very kind of purple on here. Pull that one out. And I know I'm not being consistent in my swatch, but I don't feel like I need to saturate the paper with a ton of ink to get an idea of what the color is going to look like. I actually do want to save the ink for writing and not swatching, killing a lot of it on a swatch. And this is Yakamoto paper number 1. This is the thin paper from Yakamoto. Put that one out. And I'm just kind of setting these to the side. And last but not least, I think I've got Otomo River paper, which I don't know why I bothered, because it's not like we're going to be able to get any more of this unless you just have a secret stash somewhere. But I am going to truly miss this paper. It is just such a delight to have been able to write with it. So I've got 4 different kinds of fountain pen friendly paper to test out and do the writing examples on, and all I'm going to do is do a quick line, and I'm going to just say this is a test versus the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, just to give everybody an idea of what I'm going to be writing about. Out of these papers, even the Yakamoto thin paper and the Tomo River paper seem to have a very similar weight, I will say that, whereas the Takumi paper is by far the heaviest, and next is the Aerofil paper. So let's go ahead. I'm going to add some more light to this scene here because it's getting darker a lot quicker, and it's towards the end of the day, and I just want to go ahead and do this. And I think since I'm losing light, I might come back and show you what it looks like the next day in brighter sunlight, just because it is kind of dark and I feel like it's really hard to see this. So let me just go ahead and rinse off my dip nib pen. It definitely has on a paper towel pink tones to it. So that's where I'm seeing that. It just looks kind of brownish in low light. So I'm just going to clear those off. And I am going to first just go ahead and type in what this is. And again, this is Tatcha. Oops, I spelled that wrong. IA, sorry. Tatcha. And this is the Murasaki. It's A-I. It's an A. And very smooth. Oh my goodness. So this is the Pilot dip pen, and it just writes really lovely with that. And that's what that sample looks like. Next, we're going to go to the Takumi paper. Write it on here. And oh wait, I think I spelled this wrong. E-M. E-R-M. U-R-A Saki. I kind of butchered that one, sorry guys. So that's that one. Okay, and I forgot to do this. I said I was going to do this and I didn't do it on the Aerofil paper, which is, this is a test. That one, done that on here. Ooh, cannot wait to see what these all look like when the end of the day comes. Okay, and then I've got the #1 thin paper. Dip this in here. There's that one. More ink. All right. And of course the phone's ringing. Okay, hold on just a second. Okay, so there is the thin paper, and last but not least, sorry, grab this one more time. That kind of just slid all over the place. Let me just grab some more of this. Okay, and like that's gonna just blob out there, and like that, and okay, so that's sample #1 of that ink. We'll see how that all looks like at the end. But that all nib experiences on all the papers was very smooth. Really enjoyed it. This is what the ink sample looks like on the Urumuseki from Tatsuya. This is Otomo River paper on this sample. Sorry about that, you're on frame. This is what it looks like on thin #1 Yakumoto paper. This is the other paper for the Artesian. This is the Tukami paper. And last but not least, this is Ireful. And I think that they're all looking at these very similar papers. I'm not seeing a big swing, although Ireful looks like it's a little bit more purple than this one's looking a little bit more purple than the rest, but I want to show you guys these tomorrow in natural light. So I'm going to leave all these things out and come back tomorrow to show you those papers again, but let's move on and go into the next sample, which is the Wearing Goal Lost ink sample. And we will go ahead and swatch this one out as well. And I need another swatch card. Grab 2 of them while I'm at it because I've got another one to do. So, and I took this from Simone. I took a whole bunch of watercolor mixed media paper and cut my own cards as I ran out of the Wearing Goal cards that I have. And I still have my Wearing Goal book too, but it's just kind of everywhere still. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put this out here. Move one to the side so I don't, by mistake, swatch 2 cards instead of 1, but this is Wearing Goal Lost. Because I forgot to, oops, didn't get anything. I forgot to swatch this out last time I got it and put it in my book here. So, this is a gorgeous, I'm just gonna push this around, bluish gray kind of color. I love this ink color. It's becoming, it's kind of like Celadon Cap to me, very similar too. But I used to have the coloring cards and I found them to be kind of troublesome as far as kind of always having to flip through a whole bunch of cards in the ring, and I just felt like by having them in my traveler's notebook, it's a little bit easier for me to actually just kind of pull and see what the colors are. So that's why I kind of switched my system up. So this is Wearing Goal and Lost. And this paper does have quite a bit of movement. I mean, the color does have a little bit of shift to it, but not much, so there's not a huge amount of shading. But I do find the color overall very, very pleasant. I'm sorry, I'm out of frame. Okay, so let's do circle 8. And it's writing really, really pale right now. And I don't know if that's because of my dipping or what, but hopefully it will show through a little bit better. Okay. And I didn't do that on the other card, but I will go back and do that on the Misaki, I'm sorry. That gives you a pretty good representation of what that color looks like in writing. I absolutely love that color. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the jar. I think I've pulled out 2 cards by mistake, so I only need 1. So we'll go ahead and do this color now. This one. We'll do writing samples. So, Irrefold, let's go and do this one. I hope everybody's doing well while I'm doing this. It's going to take a little bit of time, so grab something to drink while I kind of putz my way through this paper sample, because it's a lot. So I might actually speed this up so that you don't have to watch me kind of keep swatching and dipping. I find this to be, oh, that's really nice. I find this to be really relaxing, but I also know that from a watching perspective, it's a long watch. So I totally get it if you do other things in the background or swatch along with me if you've got these colors. Here is another sample of this. And I'm just going to pull these to the side so that they have a chance to dry. There we go. And I will turn these over so that we can see what they look like once they're all dry. And right now I'm doing the last one, which is Old Tomoe River paper. And I just ran out of ink on my automatic pen here. Oh God, great color. I'm gonna put a little bit more down on the thin paper. The thin paper seems to not hold the ink as well just off the cuff, but it doesn't seem to be bleeding through. So they're not dry yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the ink writing samples for these. Okay, here's on Irrefold paper. This is Wearing Goal, Lost. So go ahead and re-dip this. Sorry, I feel like I took my eyes off of this for just a second. I'm trying to hold the camera so it doesn't bounce a lot. There's that one. I'm gonna next do Takami paper. And that one is still holding on to the ink quite a bit. It's not dry, not even close. But it looks beautiful on this paper. Okay. Figure 8s. Down strokes. Go up on this. Back down. That's what that looks like. And this is what it's looking like on Irrefold paper, and the sample still, as you can see, very wet. That's what it looks like so far. Then we'll do number 1 thin paper from Yakamoto. Move my ink sample here over to the side so I can have that. Yep. It writes much fainter on this paper, on the thin paper, than it does on other samples. Let's see here. All right. So that's what that looks like. And last but not least, Old Tomoe River paper. Okay. Nib experience is really good on all of these papers. And of course, this is going to perform, I think, very well, as we know, tried and true. Okay, so that is Wearing Gold Lost. And those are those two samples. And now I'm going to move over and grab my last sample, which is Color Travelers Sand Beige. Those papers are still drying. Okay, so we will just clean out my automatic pen and my writing pen that I'm using for consistency. And we're going to put in a swatch here. Okay. Ooh, it's a pretty kind of, it is kind of a sandy beige. That's a good way to describe this color, I think. That's what it looks like. Sorry. But it's a beautiful color, I think. Okay, so let's go ahead and do swatches for the papers. And the earful paper is still holding on to that last swatch, so I gotta be careful there. There's that one. Here it is, the Takumi. That's one like here. Okay, need some more ink. There's that one. And then we are going to do thin. It's still holding on to the Lost by Wearing Gold as well on that one. And Old Tomoe River. All right, so there's the bigger swatches. Let's go ahead and do the writing sample. The side. Okay. This is Color Traveler. And this is called Sand Beige. This is going to be a color that's going to perform best probably in a medium nib or higher, just because it is a lighter value, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's going to probably look great against cream colored paper because it's going to be complementary with it. Let's see here. And my nib is not holding on to a lot of the ink for some reason. Here we go. But I think the color is absolutely gorgeous. Let's see here. So that's the main drawback of this nib. It just doesn't hold on to a lot of ink. but that color is just really nice. I actually like it. Got a little bit of green to it, but it is kind of more on the yellowy beigey side, just like it says. Okay, so here is the Aerofoil paper. So this is Color Traveler. And this is the Sand Beige. I really actually like this color a lot. All right. Test down here. My hand's getting in my viewfinder. Okay, so there's that one right there. And then we'll put it onto the Takumi paper. This paper's a little bit warmer than the rest of them, I think. They're more pure white, so. Sand. Oh yeah, I actually really like this color. All right, there's that one. Show you what that looks like up close. So that's what that one looks like. And now Yakimoto thin paper. I will say the swatches do take a long time to dry, almost every paper except the Tomoe River paper, which is almost dry. Having to dip my nib a little more frequently on this paper. Had to go over that one. That one was pretty faint there. Okay, so that's what it looks like on #1 Yakimoto thin paper. And as you can tell, the sample is still wet. So ink takes a long time to dry on this paper, whereas on the old Tomoe River paper, it's still dry, but yet, as you're seeing, that Wear and Go Lost is still, it's holding on strong. It hasn't dried yet. So here's Color Traveler on this one. Sand Beige. I am so gonna miss this paper. I know everybody else is going to miss it too. I'm sorry to keep saying it, but I'm not looking forward to the replacement paper. And then on top of it, Cosmo Airlight is no longer going to exist. It's like a rust in peace year for certain fountain pen papers. All right. All right, so I am now done swatching and doing ink sample writings, small ones, but I think enough to get a good idea of how the inks are performing. So I'm going to bring out all the papers so that you guys can see them. Okay, so this is, and I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. So we have Tatsuya Uramasaki, I hope I said that right finally, Wearing Gold Lost, my tongue was twisted on that one for a minute. Color Traveler Sand Beige, that's what it looks like in the front. We flip it over, you've got Ghosting, and because the swatches are heavy, you're seeing it a little bit heavier, but the writings are really not ghosting too horribly, and nor do we have any bleed through on the Irrefull paper. So that's that one. Then we have the Takumi Artisan paper. That's what these look like. The Tatcha, the Wearing Gold Lost, which is absolutely, I'm gonna have to reshoot this again so you guys can see this in natural daylight because I'm losing sunlight here, but this color is stunning. Color Traveler is also a stunning color. It finally got dry on this one, so this one's gonna dry in just a second. If you flip it over, you're seeing the heavy swatches because I use the automatic pen, but you're not seeing a lot of ghosting and really very little bleed through, and that's only because of that ink sample there. Then we've got the #1 thin paper from Yakamoto, and this too, bring the light down, this too has got really good color variation. The Tatcha is coming off a little bit more purple than it was when it was going down. And the Wearing Gold Lost, I don't know if you guys can actually see it. So it's blue, but it's got a hint of green on the undertones of it. It's just really, really gorgeous. And when you flip it over, again, you're only seeing remnants of the swatches and very little ghosting and no bleeding. And last but not least, we've got Old Tomoe River paper, and the Wearing Gold Lost for some reason is still hitting and holding. It's still wet, but when you flip it over, ghosting but no bleeding and no bleed through. So those are the 3 ink samples. I hope you enjoyed the paper. If you have any questions, please leave your comments below. I am going to probably insert at the very end of this, trying to get all these into frame. I will probably try to shoot a daylight shot tomorrow so that you can see what it looks like in natural daylight. But until then and until next time, thank you so much. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. If you have any questions and comments, leave them below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, until then, next time, stay safe and happy holiday season. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey YouTube, okay, so it's the next day. I've got some natural daylight. I wanted to show you what the actual ink samples looked like for the swatches that I did in the evening. So this is Tatcha Uramasaki. It does have a brownish tone with a little bit of pink underneath there, so it looks more brown on the swatch. Here is Color Traveler's Sand Beige. I absolutely love this color. And here is Wearing Gold Lost. And as you can see, if you tilt this, you can kind of see some of the green that I was talking about. So it's kind of like this blue, but it's got just a hint of green underlay in the ink color. It's absolutely gorgeous. So that's what the swatches look like. And here are what the paper samples look like. So starting, oops, sorry about this. Starting left to right, I'll just do this like this. This is what the Irrefull swatch samples looked like. And I'll tilt it so you can kind of get it towards natural light angle. This one is the Tamuki Artisan paper that I've got from Jenny Bick. And that's what that looks like in that paper. Then we have, keep showing the wrong one first. And then we have the samples under the Yakamoto #1 thin paper. And I really do like how you can kind of see the green in this one very well. And then lastly, we have Old Tomoe River paper that's gone bye-bye. And that's what the samples look like. If I flip them over, there's heavy ghosting on this because this swatch laid down pretty heavy, but there's no bleed through on the Irrefull. There is no bleed through on the Takumi paper, but heavy swatch samples, you can see that ghosting. And you've got this one as well on the Yakamoto thin paper #1. and then the Tomoe River kind of come through a little bit on that one. So that's what the swatches look like on the various fountain pen friendly papers that I thought I have in my collection right now. The Yakumoto paper sample is supposed to be all fountain pen friendly, so I'm going to be very much interested to see what they will actually turn out to do as we go forward. All right, that's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for sticking to the end, and I really appreciate it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you've tried any of these papers and you have a favorite amongst them, let me know as well. All right, until next time, take care. Bye.